Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Tavern Talk. Greetings, adventurers of Vera. Welcome to the Tavern Talk at the Golden Feather Tavern. We are Chibi and Vertec, keepers of this fine establishment, and the Golden Feather is open to all travelers to come and share their thoughts on the inner workings of Vera over a nice tankard of ale. Mead, hot cocoa, water, air, any other delicious beverage of your choice. So raise your drinking utensil, pull up a chair as we delve into tonight's discussion. I'm just going with it at this point.
Just going with it. Delicious.
Today is the 24th of April, 2024. 42424. We're on episode 014. Classes and corruption. Chibi Tech, what do we have on top for today?
Oh my goodness. I'm glad I'm not the only one that fluffs up on the intro once in a while.
Once in a while, I think of this like twice in a row now.
Boy, so yeah, today we have some discussion that's going to be happening about some classes and corruption. Specifically on the classes, we've got some talk about some cleric stuff and some mage stuff, and then corruption and about how amazing it's going to be, and yeah, things. And then just whatever random other stuff you folks bring our way. So feel free to fire stuff off as we're talking. We might side track and discuss some of that for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, important stream for me to be tuned into. Nice.
And if you like any of this kind of content, please consider giving us a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure to hit that notification bell if you'd like to see when we post or go live. With that...
And you have some expertise in identifying such people.
Oh wait, what? Some great
being a teacher himself.
Yeah. That's funny.
At least 8th grade. Come on now, I've got a master's degree. I qualify for 9th grade. At least like freshman high school, right?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. It's just everybody heard me kind of getting a little overwhelmed by Spotify on the starting Zoom screen. So, you know, for those that don't know, I guess to start off on a tangent here, Vertec is traveling. I'm doing all of the streaming from the house, and he had to do some last minute meetings and was able to get in kind of last minute with us. And I didn't realize that there was an audio that's labeled test audio that had my microphone attached to it. So I was getting overwhelmed by how loud Spotify was suddenly being in my headphones while I was trying to listen to him explain how to like turn stuff off. So.
Thank you, Hidden Dagger in. Yeah, Pian, that was something Chibi got crafted up, I do believe.
I did. It was actually for our Sea of Thieves, and the idea is to be a tavern inside of a ship. So, but yes. So, classes.
Yar.
Classes. Is there any class that out of those two that are drawn to you?
Well, how about we get the most important one out of the way first? Yeah? Cleric, yeah?
You know I love me some cleric.
I do.
And for those that saw, there was actually a good number of comments when Peon and I had disagreeing opinions on cleric. There was a good amount of comments on that segment as well. I thought that was kind of funny. Paranot, hello. Giggles, yes. Tank is most important. Bite me. Well, that's Vertec's favorite, yeah. But the only two that we have on deck today is the cleric and the mage.
See, actually, Fupo, really quick, I'd like to counter that with tank is going to be the best and the strongest. However, to us, cleric is going to be the most important because they are keeping us alive.
AKA I'm keeping him alive.
So being the most awesome and being the most important are two different roles.
It's all good, Fiona. It's all good. I'm mainly just bantering. Cleric for pockets. Yes, yes, exactly. Pocket healer. Pocket healer.
In heaven, there's a cleric for every pocket.
I won't be a cleric keeping people alive. I'll be DPSing. Missed the point of the Trinity. Uh-oh.
DPS are known as support classes. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm redefining the entire Trinity right now, and I love it.
Just Intrepid, please don't fire us. Not that we're working for you, but just please don't fire us. Bold of you to assume tanks are going to heaven. Ooh, you need off healers. We do.
I mean, those are called crafters who are making potions for us.
Which is also going to be me. Gunnarsson says, why the Cleric Archetype is AOC's most important archetype and cannot fail. And I will pop this into the chat for you. Oops, not that way. I won't copy.
Not like this.
Not like this.
You don't mind giving the quick TLDR? I'm gonna step away and grab my water bottle because I didn't realize I didn't have mine right here until you showed yours on screen.
Okay. I will go with that. DPS being support makes sense. Not
In my altered reality, it is.
Knurson says, historically, the two main classes that have always been in short supply in MMOs have been tanks and healers. And even between these two, tanks are considered the more appealing class type for most players. Ashes is a PvX game, meaning PvE and PvP are very much intertwined. Clerics are absolutely needed in both in order. I guess in both orders. To create an atmosphere where groups can excel in both. My worry is that currently there is not enough agency of choice on this class play within the toolkit of this one and only healing class to entice enough players to roll clerics. So their biggest worry is that the way that we currently see healers is not going to be appealing enough to a lot of people. However, I think the biggest defining factor here is that you will have 8 different types of healing, potentially 16 different types of healing, if you consider bards and secondary clerics, and then all the primary clerics. Because I don't know exactly what a bard will do, but they will help with mana management, which could also help with healing. But they go into more of their details on that. But they think that the cleric showcase might pale in comparison to the ranger and the fighter. What are your thoughts?
Oof. It's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Theoretical discussion right now.
Yes.
About how many choices of tanking and healing there are going to be.
Right.
Because it's been stated that the primary tank and primary cleric are going to be the best at their job, especially when they choose the secondary of the same. Mm-hmm. Everything else has been stated as basically being second rate as long as your tank and cleric are primary. If your tank and cleric is the secondary and you choose a different class for your primary, you're kind of probably going to be one of those, like, you can kind of do some stuff and that's about it. Whereas it does feel like there's multiple different types of choices for different types of other DPS, at least. Like, I want to do damage. Okay, well, do you want to do range? Do you want to do melee? Do you want to do stealthy? Or do you want to do caster?
Right.
And which flavor of all the above? And do you want to combine them in whatever way you want?
Right.
And so, yeah, I agree with the sentiment that it feels like it's going to be very... at least if the end result is going to come out as the same way that it's been stated, the intention is going to lie. You're going to see a lot of people that just choose tank and cleric because that's going to be the pure class, the one true tank and the one true healer, and the others are going to be kind of like, I mean, they'll get the job done, probably like 90% efficiency or something from my impression of the descriptions.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, I do really wish that the secondary, if tank was secondary or cleric was secondary, that it would have a lot more viability as maybe at least a secondary, and that all of the tank primary and cleric primary were all of them equally a primary tank or primary healer.
Yeah. And for those that were here yesterday, we do have a new fancy showcase your chat on the screen thing, which I forgot to copy over from Vertex Computer for this show. So it won't be here this week, but it will be there next week. But Rorier says tanks need to hold the bad guys off the group. Healers got to keep everyone alive. DPS need to kill it before the cleric is spent. So technically DPS are the most important, unless this is WoW and tanks no longer need healers. Self-sustain is so strong, too strong. Sun Method says, as a healer main, I'll be glad for there to be a shortage of me and to be in high demand. And I agree with that, but my own personal experience says that I feel like the healing is going to be so unique in Ashes that I don't know if there is actually going to be a shortage, because basically there's a lot of people in our guild currently that want to play healer, want to play cleric. So it's like almost I'm borderline, I'm planning a secondary character because I'm anticipating not being the main cleric almost. At least not at first, but we'll see how other people. I prefer playing cleric, but I don't know, I might try out ranger just for fun. But I think the most important is learning what the secondary is going to do for the primary with the cleric to see how much flavor is actually going to be there going forward. And again, like you said, it's a little too early for this for this topic. Sun Method says, Raka says, how about Minstrel, Bard, ultimate subclass? I could see that. We just don't know exactly what Bard does. At least we know it does mana support, but we're not really sure what the others, like, if it does healing, you know? Sun Method says the way they've described it, Cleric secondary only adds self-sustain, which makes me wonder if Cleric would be desirable at all. And I think Cleric primary is going to be all of the secondary healing, with the cleric being the best primary healer.
Yeah, I think that's the first part of that is true when it comes to the primary archetype being anything else besides cleric. If it's cleric primary and cleric secondary, you become more cleric-y.
Yeah. And
so it strengthens all of your abilities to a greater degree rather than just adding self-sustain.
Yeah. Like cleric is not going to be like a self-sustain necessarily. It's just going to be a stronger cleric. Like they said, all the pure classes are going to be the best at that class's role, basically. Yeah. So a tank, which is really funny to say, a tank is going to be the best like tank for your group. Ideally, with a tank secondary or something, a secondary tank being second, like running for a good, strong tank. But a cleric is, if you think of it, I guess, kind of in terms of World of Warcraft, the Holy Priest, or in terms of Final Fantasy XIV, the White Mage, like the big primary healer kind of thing. Raid wide healing, maybe even. And Nair is calming my nerves by saying, I think most groups will want 2 clerics in case of PvP. And Hidden Dagger Inn says people will play healer in order to get content done. Just depends on the type of healing flavor they want. Mm-hmm. The key is having cleric.
Yeah, that's what the last thing we saw is.
What was the last thing you guys heard?
What's the last thing you remember before the world ended?
But in case you didn't hear this, Demon Soul, thank you. Thank you so much. We're bringing it back. We're bringing it back. Fireball. Dun, 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 dun.
Fireball.
YouTube, please don't demonetize us for that later.
You sounded so much like him.
Oh,
How could they not? Yes.
Actually get copyright struck for just singing it like accurately.
Oh my gosh.
I find that lame.
You'd be able to fight that, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, I don't know what the last thing you guys heard us say, but I was thinking Demon Soul for the resub.
Yeah.
But yeah, my OBS froze. Sorry about that, guys.
I know that I saw the first F in chat when I was talking about tanks and how most games get them absolutely terrible in PvP. They make them useless. Like the only thing they're good for is living longer than everybody else. That's literally the only thing they're good for in most games.
That's fair.
They have like zero utility unless you're talking Death Knights and WoW, in which case they have grip and they have like slows and they have diseases and all sorts of crazy stuff that do crazy things.
That's my cheeky response.
Only resub if you come play Kata. Oh my gosh, Kata. Cataclysm.
I actually liked Cataclysm. Sorry.
Oh yeah, Cataclysm's where I started to fall off though.
Yeah.
That was one of the guild breakers for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Started to fall off during Cataclysm. But I got to beat Firelands.
Sounds like maybe even before then with the raid that we were trying to do, the Old War. All right, so getting back on track here. The second chat is on Mage, which I'm making sure that they can hear you. Can you talk again real quick?
I am talking.
Okay, so they can hear you, but my Spotify is not coming through.
Oh no.
It's okay. I'm just gonna reset it to Spotify. All right, cool. There we go. Okay, cool. Sorry.
Please
Getting that
return to the VOC talk.
Yeah, return the VOC. Oh, nice. But yeah, so State of Mage. This is from Reddit. As it is, the one true chatter. Though I've not seen the one true chatter in our chat, so I don't know if they're actually the one true chatter, to be honest.
False advertisement.
False advertisement.
You can sue them for more chats.
But they said in every game that has it as an option, I play Mage, even if it's really off the meta. However, I think Chappy, 6 months.
Hello, friend, and
Thank you.
Cheers for that, indeed. Don't mind my cheapo water bottle.
Yeah, because you left yours in the car.
I did. I had a plane to run down.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But he says, I'll play Ranger or another class for AOC unless we see some changes. Mage and AOC just seems unsatisfying for both combat and lore satisfaction. Lightning Ball is boring and likely going to run into issues with viability in many situations due to landscape, terrain, and speed. Relying on it for damage combos will be frustrating. Will has already addressed the speed issue with Arcane Sphere. Why do they think builds with less CC won't have this issue? The thing I'm most upset about is just how cookie cutter it is, but the worst aspects of the cookie. Lightning Strike without the proc from ESO, COC from WoW or other MMOs in the air COC will be cooler than on the ground, Blink from WoW, Blizzard from WoW, but worse, etc. Yeah, Royer. And that's actually what a lot of people have said. Like, a couple of the comments, just to highlight them. One person says we've only seen a really early iteration of the level 15 Mage kit. So I don't think you should decide what archetype you're going with based on just this. And then someone else said that you might be 3 to 4 months early for this discussion. Just wait for Alpha 2 to release and test things there. If they are as you describe it, give feedback to the devs. That's what the alpha is for tackling issues like that. But
yeah. And I mean, let's let any mage mains who are hardcore, all about that mage life, correct me if I'm wrong, but it actually doesn't look like it's in a bad position, even from just what they've shown, to me anyway. Because I believe Steven had mentioned something about the lightning ball being something of an area denial type skill. Like, you want to help control the area, you throw a lightning ball this direction, and in theory, people are not going to try to run through it or stand in that area. They're going to try and get out of it. Also, the one thing that they did show was that there are stacks for each of the different elements, and they do interact with each other, and they do have a proc when you get up to a certain point. So, I mean, that gets rid of a bunch of those statements right there on it being in a bad state, in my mind anyway. Like, the mage seems like it has a decent kit. Again, like that commenter said, who was not the one true commenter, it's only the level 15 kit, and it's the pre-alpha 2. Hey, check this stuff out. These are some skills we want to put in.
Right.
So I think it's decent. I mean, I have my own gripes about what they've shown with tank, but I'm also open to the fact that, again, level 15 is what they've shown us, and level 15 is what we have to go on, and not even in alpha 2 yet. So they haven't done anything like. I haven't revealed much of anything in as far as like real tangible, like what it's going to grow into info.
Yeah. And Trumpik says, I kind of agree. Archer looks like more fun at the moment. I'm not a fan of the lightning ball either. It just looks silly in my opinion. To which case another person said, yeah, the lightning is bad, just like the giant astral hammer was for the fighter. Now, though, the giant astral hammer was changed to you slamming the ground and a large crater is made, it looks much better and not as cartoonish like the lightning ball is right now. And then another person also responded and said, true, but I think the mages in other games and rangers in other games, mages tend to scale a lot more regarding visual effects and interesting skills, and rangers are pretty stagnant in that regard. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is Nair says, I hope they change some of the spell effects of the mage, but I'm not worried about the state. And Raka says, I want to see Avada Kedavra like spells, not necessarily one-shot skills, but the VFX. And yeah, I think that there's a lot of really cool stuff that they could do. I mean, after all, we compared it a lot, especially when Hogwarts Legacy first came out. You know, with the spells and everything.
Yeah.
Wands especially. Speaking of wands,
we have to agree with Nair on that statement, by the way. Like, not worried about the state so much as they could make some improvements to how things look.
Yeah. And Nair says, I did like the effects in Hogwarts. Yeah. And speaking of wands, if you guys didn't catch it, the live stream is next Tuesday. And they're going to be talking about nighttime, I believe lighting is what they said, and wands. Mm-hmm. So maybe we're going to be looking at how different things look at night. And I'm very excited for that. Speaking about different things looking at night, I don't know. This is a bad segue, but Nair, speaking of Nair, that's a better segue. Speaking of Nair, Nair posted on the forums. Whoops, I hit my Windows key. I'm gonna miss the live stream. Oh no. Warrior says it would be cool if augments allow us to change the style of mage. Like if I wield a staff, I could visually be more like Gandalf and a wand more like Harry Potter. That would be cool, actually. I like that idea. Okay. But yes. Idea. Yay, speak of me, says Nair. Speaking of Nair, Nair is talking about corruption. How hard do you think it should be to get rid of corruption? And here he quotes Nick, where it says, true, but it could be one 10 to 12 second mob or 10 to 12's mob that removes 30 out of 100 corruption instead of 2 6's mobs that each remove 15 out of 100. And he says, it dawned on me that we have very, very different ideas of how hard it should be to get rid of corruption. Using Nick's numbers at face value, that's 7 mobs that take 6 seconds each. Okay, so that was seconds. I thought so. to get rid of corruption, or 42 seconds plus time between pulls. He later clarified with this, which is less insane to me, and it's another quote from Nick saying, "My preferred balance for corruption gain removal is if your first PK was on an equally leveled opponent deep in a dungeon, removing it should take just a bit longer than it would take that of a person to come back to that location, and it would go somewhat exponentially upwards from there." Warrior is saying that kind of depends on your corruption history.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of that coming into play. Like corruption itself, like being corrupted versus not corrupted, may be able to be cleared off in a certain amount of time, but you'll have like a corruption history to where the next time you become corrupted, it takes like, say, 3 months for a kill to fall off, or a month to fall off, or something like that.
Hi.
So however many.
I'm Chibi, first time corruption person. I accidentally judgmented somebody while I was trying to heal the person next to them. Reminds me of, like, I have no history of being corrupted. This is my first time offense.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. It was my first time offense. It was a mistake. I didn't mean to kill him.
Corruptioner.
Terrible,
That's
terrible.
What in my head as you're explaining it. Continue.
Yeah, I think that'd be a neat thing. Like if your actual like corruption inflicting kills were kept on record for a certain amount of time, and it's stacked up and kind of exponentially increased it down the road.
Yeah.
Or somebody who plays like the good bad guy.
The good bad guy.
The good bad guy that just every once in a while unleashes. Are they? Was that a thing? Did I not catch that?
The PK will affect it. That's already in the game. A quest can reset it.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to read back through and dig that up because I missed that aspect. I mean, not right now because I don't know where it's buried in there. But at some point I'm gonna have to read it. But yeah, if it took a little while for that to fall off, that'd be great. Another gold sink, yeah, another gold sink, another time sink, another whatever. Insert stuff and things.
Oh, thank you. Nara gave us a link. Quest might reset. Has not been really said exactly how yet. Okay. Yeah, PK value, PK count, player kill count is tracked by the total number of PKs or player kills your character has committed over the course of the character's existence. It may be possible to reduce this value through certain quests and or consumables. A quest may be utilized to reduce the player's kill or PK count of a corrupt player in order for them to accumulate less corruption score in the future. Corruption score gains are influenced by the attacker's PK value.
I'm going to put in a feature request for the wiki to go back and snatch some of these quotes after the same day. That way they actually have like a date and time stamp on them. Instead of just because I went to try to look about when he made like one of the statements, when Steven made one of the statements that's referenced there, and it just says today at whatever o'clock AM. It was not today.
Oh, did you? Does it show it as a Discord?
Yeah.
If you click it, it will usually take you straight to the Discord message with the actual date on it.
Yeah. I just meant so I could see it just while in the wiki.
Yeah.
In case they're not busy enough gathering all of the information from the live streams. Because that doesn't keep people busy at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. But yeah, poor Lex and crew. Exactly. Those people, I have so much respect. They take so much time doing all that stuff. That's why I'm not going to actually bother them with it. But it would be nice. Just saying.
But you were saying about PKs.
Yeah, back to I guess the original statement I was making before getting totally sidetracked about something that I just did not realize was a thing completely. I thought the whole PK history was like while you're corrupted. Yeah, I think it should take, definitely longer than it would take to run back to your body when you get slain by somebody. It should definitely take longer than that. Like, probably 3 times that amount.
I would like to do a revenge death if I can.
There you go. Revenge death, just go
in Alpha 1 with us, I think.
Can you imagine that somebody gets PK'd, gives someone else corruption, and they just run around and harass the person who killed them, hoping to get killed again, and hoping to get killed again?
Oh my gosh! Revenge death? Don't you mean revenge kill?
I'm revenge saying, deaths.
Yeah.
Just keep getting killed over and over again to keep stacking up corruption.
And then when he's weak, that's when you strike. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's when you jump in their AoE.
But another factor that Nair wanted to point out was the bounty hunting system, and that corruption has to last long enough that the bounty hunters have time to see you on the world map and get there in time with some friends, and don't have much fast travel in the game. So like it should last at least that long. Get there, drop to gear. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you killed me and I dropped stuff. Well, maybe I can get more if I kill you back. Anyway, I did some mathy based things on XP debt, and I think around 40 to 60 minutes of XPing for their first offense is fair. I do like the idea of it stacking, because like, again, what if somebody is flagged, right? And as a cleric, there's a skill that I can actually heal somebody that's in my party, or I could hurt somebody who is not in my party. God forbid I accidentally hit somebody who's low enough that my skill that does harm somebody kills them, and then I accidentally go corrupted for it.
Yeah.
But I do like the slap on the wrist kind of idea for the first offense, your first ever kill. But then if you continue to do it, seeing that increase would be nice.
So what do you think about this? So there's going to be an experience debt that you earn by being killed in PvP out and about. Even if you don't fight back, there's going to be a more experience debt earned,
yeah.
Right? What if the corruption and the amount of time it takes to get that back is based on the experience debt taken by the person you killed? So if it's 15% experience debt accrued, then the person with corruption has to earn 15% of their level before they can get rid of the corruption. They need to get that much experience in PvE kills and whatnot for the first offense.
Yeah.
And then after that, it can be multiples of that, 20% more for the second kill, and then 50% more for the third kill.
Yeah. So kill low levels, less XP debt. More XP debt. And that's the complicated factor, with corruption, right? Is we want them to have more XP debt or more corruption if they kill lower levels, because we're trying to convince them to not attack a level 1 or a level 5, But at the same time, we're trying to make it so it's meaningful corruption and XP debt. I honestly think that your XP debt as a death thing should also be kind of determined based on how different the levels are. Because let's be real. Let's be 100% real right now. If I'm a level 5 and a level 50 attacks me, you think I'm gonna actually do anything back to them if I try to attack them? Probably not, And also, welcome in, Gandalf Shalom. I'm not really sure what you're saying, though. Doing it like that might start to make it overly complicated. It is an interesting idea. Yeah, absolutely. To me, this whole process is just complicated. So I'm glad I'm not the one that has to think about it.
I don't know. I think it might actually make things simpler, if anything, and more easily predictable. Okay. Because if, let's say, you have two people of the same level. They're on quote unquote equal fighting grounds or whatever.
Okay.
And one person gets slain, and they get a 15% experience debt.
Right.
The person PKing them has a 15% of their level corruption debt, let's say. Now they need to go out and do just as much work to get the corruption off as the other person has to do to get their experience back. Now, every time there's another level of difference, it adds more and more and more percentage based. You could even say like an extra like 2% per level below you. And then it just gets big. So when you have like a 20 level difference, suddenly you have a 35% of your current level experience debt, not 35% of the other person's level, but yours.
Right.
Whoever did the killing.
Right.
Stack up something like that.
And I got some clarification. Pockets Art, thank you so much. Basically saying like control key for your push to talk and you accidentally activate your forced attack. And that's how Gandalf has accidentally flagged many times. And Vandar says just take it as a percentage of the offender's level.
Yeah, exactly. I think I didn't explain it quite right the first time around, but yeah, that's what I was intending to describe there. Is if the experience debt is 15%, because again they haven't really defined it right, for the person dying, then it should be a 15% corruption debt, let's say, for the person doing the slaying, or even for that matter double it, whatever. But that keeping in mind that would be the base for the first PK, right?
Yeah.
And then PK history and level differences, and if you're already corrupted and slaying again, and while you're corrupted and all that would still come into play to add more multipliers to it. But
yeah, absolutely. And Nair in his post says, how long does it 15% XP translate to? It'll depend on the level, but if we go with 225 hour to max level goal that Intrepid has put out, that's about 4.5 hours per level, or around 40 minutes for 15% XP with the usual leveling speed curve we see in MMORPGs. There's probably a minute at level 1 and an hour or more of grinding XP at level 50. And then there's an edit saying, and of course we have to test it, but the 15% XP is a good starter. Maybe we end up with 10% as a more fair target. We'll see. And I think these are all really good perspectives. You know, like there's like, we want to make sure that there's enough of a risk, because if it's too easy to get rid of corruption, then you don't learn anything from that and it doesn't matter to you. But if it's too long, then I don't know. I feel like people might just be like getting a lot of people around them to help protect them while they try to get rid of the XP debt. I don't know. But then it feels like overly punishing. Like, I accidentally killed that person. Why do I have to spend like 3 hours just to get rid of something that I like accidentally did? You know, going for the innocent perspective. But I could see as your corruption builds, needing the more intense time frames for those things.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also been said that you know, there's also going to be some valid reasons for slaying somebody out and about, right? I may not be a big fan of just open world, you know, murder for no reason, but every once in a while there's going to be a reason. There's going to be somebody who just will not leave you alone, or just does something and you need to retaliate.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're feeling impulse too, because you never really need to slay another player.
Yeah.
If they're not attacking you.
Well, Fupo, to answer your question, I think we've seen Steven accidentally get corruption on the stream a couple of times. Like, I mean,
I'll show you how that skill works. Oops, I erased you.
But like it could happen, especially if, like, let's say I'm flagged and an innocent goes through, and I don't know, just something. He's accidentally killed people before. But also, like, what if I am testing something and I accidentally kill my friend? I don't know. Which is another point. I guess if you're gonna do PvP with your friend to test out stuff, you should both flag up. Because if you test out your skills on your friend to see how much of their health it might take, and they're not flagged up, you could accidentally get corruption that way.
Or make sure to at least enter into, you know, a duel if there's like a, you know, right click duel.
A duel option.
Duel.
Yeah. I would like that because I don't want to enter into PvP for no reason. Like if I just want to duel someone real quick to just try something, I feel like that should be an option. And I don't want to feel like I have to flag, because if it's anything like some of the other games I played, once you flag for PvP, you're usually flagged for a certain amount of time before you can unflag or before it can be removed from you. It's not exactly instantaneous. Nara says, holding down control or whatever key they decide on while you're attacking. I can see some people fat fingering their way to corruption. Yeah, exactly. Royer says, people have been finding ways to grief people since the beginning of time. Have you seen those hardcore WoW videos of higher level players getting low levels to flag and then killing them? It's up to Intrepid to close those loopholes. It absolutely is. Yeah, like a dual flag where I'm just trying to dual Vertec versus like flagging for PvP just to dual Vertec, and then somebody else comes up and ganks me or something.
You.
Gandalf says, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, because I remember in that one video where Steven and Maggie and whatnot was dragging everybody through that big old castle to go fight the big old dragon.
Oh yeah.
During that, there was a lot of talk and whatnot about the flagging, and the one thing I think, if you flag for PvP, that's basically saying that you're turning on the ability for your AoEs to do damage or to heal corrupted players or other players just in general that aren't in your party.
Yeah.
So flagging for PvP would be the equivalent of like, I'm going to test my AoE, and then somebody runs through and gets nailed by it.
Right. Or like Royer says, there's a high level rogue that was sitting in Viz on top of quest mobs, and the low level alliance player would accidentally hit the Invis rogue, and boom, they're flagged now.
Oh yeah.
And then Gandalf says, Lineage 2, I would just have a second account that was red logged out near where I farm. People come around me and mess with me, log into that second account.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hold on.
Yeah, I used to do that a bunch with having another big level player around when I knew I was going to be leveling around or farming in a certain area.
Yeah. But I like how Intrepid is handling being invisible. Just with it not being like completely invisible, you can kind of still see through them.
We'll see with that caravan display when they're showing that. I think that was just the Ranger's camouflage, which isn't supposed to be like a proper invis.
Yeah.
We'll see what the rogue one looks like, because I think that one might be a little bit closer to a full invis, at least going by the original videos and the descriptions that I recall hearing. It's going to be a little bit more invisible.
Nara, why do you think we may not see Margaret for this next stream? I'll take your tangent, because I mean, we can definitely talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm open to it. Well, I mean, yeah, I know that she's pregnant, but I don't really see why she would be off cam yet.
Yeah, she'll be around. I think it's closer to the due date, maybe.
Yeah, I thought that was in October though. That's what somebody else said.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be later in the year.
She doesn't go and hide for 9 months. Yeah, usually they take time off, or like, you know. Yeah,
there's plenty of time still.
Yeah.
Now the interesting part is if her due date's in October, as is being discussed, then that's going to be right around the time when Alpha 2 kicks off, right? That's going to be at the very beginning, either way, because October, if it's going to be in quarter 3,
September is the last month for quarter 3.
Yeah, so that's going to be at most 3 months into Alpha 2. At least it's going to be like right as Alpha 2 is kicking off, is going to go into October, you know?
That's fair, Nair. That's fair. Yeah. Vandar and Pockets think that Alpha 2 is going to be in July because of that. Having a baby during launch of A2, how irresponsible for planning. Wow. Wow. Such shade. ITs. Yeah. But I'm sure they've got it. I'm sure she's getting, I mean, if it's anything like people at my company, I'm sure she's gotten Vaknar and Roshan up to date. Excuse me. But yeah.
Yeah.
Vote for July as well. Yeah, I'm very hopeful for July. I don't know necessarily July 1st, but I do hope sometime in the month of July, but I could see as late as August. But we'll see. I mean, there's a lot that happens, and we also had the whole conversation yesterday on Unreal Engine 5.4 coming out when they had just barely gotten into 5.2 and we're taking steps for 5.3, you know. They also planned access to Alpha 2 around her wedding. Baby name is Alpha.
Baby name Alpha.
Also congratulate teachers whose due date is in the summer. Aw. January 16th. But yeah, I think you know, there's a lot up in the air, but I don't know. I think she'll let us know if she's gonna be away, probably. Maybe not like super publicly, but those who might need to know, I'm sure she'll tell them.
It would be news.
Yeah.
They got some capable peoples on hand to take over while she's stepping out, so.
Taffy. That's actually perfect. Sure. Now she can just play Alpha 2 with the baby is sleeping. Aw, that's true, because they're very quiet for like a good month or so. They just sleep a lot. But yeah.
Well, hopefully they sleep a lot. Well, they should sleep a lot.
I don't know how to put this without getting too personal, but when I was younger, I was around a newborn and it was very quiet for like a month or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just turn this out.
There's a mute button, you know.
But
I'm failing. Baby sleeping is a fallacy. I know I have two.
Is this third baby released? I like how you guys have her whole life planned out for her already.
Oh my goodness. All the child names all set.
That being said, I don't know what May is going to bring us, but I would like to try and get the guild summit for May if I can. And if not, we might have to do it in June, but there's just a lot happening. I mean, I just came back from my work trip, and Vertek is currently on his work trip.
Second work trip in a month.
Yeah. So there's just a lot up in the air that was not there, definitely, when we first initially planned these summits. So I'm hoping to try and get something together. May is doing Liberty. Okay.
The only other alternative is if we could make this a full-time gig, we wouldn't need the day job.
Oh yeah, which is definitely
all your friends.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to quit those jobs, guys. Ash is coming. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I honestly, like, for those that don't know, like, real talk, we are hoping to make AshesofCreation our primary gig in the future. Phantom, thank you.
Thank you, Phantom. Much appreciated.
Yeah, much appreciated. If you guys missed our talk last week, it's now live on YouTube. To the joy of many people who were very excited to see that we were talking with Phantom. And I also saw that Phantom had a one-on-one with Vladis just the other day. So, lots of Phantom chats if you like Phantom.
Phantom is, as they say, a class act.
No,
I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I know it's good.
For shame, Nair, for shame.
For shame?
You should be ashamed of yourself. Insert like the shame gif here.
Lots of people about your stream.
Making me blush. Well, you're really cool to chat with, and I think a lot of the people in the community agree, so. Also, somebody said, let me grab it off of our YouTube real quick. I don't want to misspeak this because I just loved this comment so much. Bards, Pion. Nope. Okay, that's all on Bards. Oh, there we go. Vale commented and said, TGF Tavern unlocked the Theory Forge 3-piece set bonus.
Yes. I don't know what it gives me, but I wanted it.
Yeah.
I had to have it.
I think that is a very accomplishable goal once gameplay starts. Yeah, I'm hoping. People that rhyme with pots. Oh my gosh, Rory. You guys are bad. Oh my gosh, Raka.
Oh lordy. Oh lordy.
Oh my lord. We'll work out the details later. Yes.
I think yeah, Raka, I think you won that one. I'm not even gonna bother trying to look up any other alternative name.
Shots fired.
That wins.
Shots fired. Also, Undead Pally commented, said, yes, it's Tuesday. That doesn't mean it can't be a week already. Says, hit so hard. So, yeah. It's one of those, like, when it's been a week already and it's only Tuesday, you know it's been a week. It's been a hard Monday.
It's been a week.
But, is there anything else Ashes related that you have been wanting to chat about?
Ooh. Well, we never really have talked about DPS meters.
Oh my gosh, get out of here.
I just. That's always a rabbit hole. And that's always a house fire.
You're trying to get us
dumpster fire thrown in for no reason whatsoever.
Oh my gosh. We can talk about
instance PvE. We never talk about that. That's never been a topic we've talked about.
Does Ashes have PvE? Wow, you guys are really trying to get us fired from our non-existent
PvE
job.
servers. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
What else we got?
Oh man, what's PvE? I don't know. Let's just talk about how I came back from my vacation, quote unquote vacation, aka work conference, and I had 156 notifications on my PVX is not your PVX thread.
So what you're saying is some people were talking.
Oh my lord, people were talking. I did not expect it to blow up that much, honestly. I'm like, to be fair, I usually get like a couple of people commenting and then nobody pays attention to my threads ever. So the fact that there was still like people commenting was just like, hi, I guess. People who dislike DPS meters are all elitist. Oh yeah. Only people that dislike DPS meters are the people that can't DPS. All elitists are people that can't DPS. Wow.
Let's figure that kind of mishmash of statements. Make it work.
That's funny. Oh, geez. But, let us know if you guys have any ideas. I guess I'll just turn this into a TGF Tavern chit-chat for a second. Let us know if you guys have any ideas on stuff that you'd like to see us do, because we're looking to integrate some cool stuff. If you're here yesterday, we have the new chat feature. We still have this one, which is, to me, I feel like kind of a highlight your message. Let me see. There we go. It should work. I'm gonna laugh so hard if it doesn't.
First, how did you redeem? Oh, because we restarted.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I was gonna say, no way. You got it. This late in the game. Oh yeah, that's right. We had to restart the stream. So, also, by the way, speaking of doing the guild summit thing, if you folks would like to hear some guild leaders answer specific questions,
let us know.
Let us know. Our Discord is a great place for that because it can be logged there, and we can always go back to it, and it'll be there for all time. but yeah, because we are going to throw out our own questions, but just like the Content Creator Summit,
yep,
the guild leaders are going to be able to ask all the other guild leaders and themselves, because they'll have to answer too, whatever
different
questions they feel like pressing, that they wish to discuss. So
my hope is that it's very guild focused for this, by the way.
Yeah, they're definitely guild focused and like intent, designs, what they're hoping to see. Like there's a zillion different things you could ask of a guild leader. But
real quick, we have some chat questions. I want to make sure that we don't feel like they're being ignored. Vandar is asking how many servers and where: Asia, Europe, or US. I don't know a good answer for that one. I apologize, but I know that they're intending to have at least Europe and US. I know Oceania, US. I don't know how many servers there.
Register for those areas, and if it seems like it's going to drive enough cause in order to put a server in that area.
Gandalf Shalom says, how close do you think animal husbandry is to playable? And also is saying that they still need a good guild. And that's a good question, because I'm not really sure. I don't think we've actually seen much with it at all, so I have no idea. Complete shot in the dark.
Husbandry? Ooh.
Yeah,
that'd be an absolute shot in the dark, because all we've heard is some general ideas on a few things.
And then Phantom X says, I have a question for y'all. Came to me while talking with Vladis, and I posted it to the forums. Given Ashes of Creation is a group-based game as its core, do you think new players should bear all the responsibility of finding other people to play with, or do the game systems share some of this responsibility? This is not referencing a group finder. And I honestly think it should be sharing some of the responsibility, but I also hope people like us, because we're a community-focused podcast and hopefully resource, I hope that we can supply that help for finding a guild and people to play with.
I think the game systems should take responsibility to help facilitate finding people to play with, and finding other people to play with your group when you're short. It's just the full automate portion of it that maybe doesn't need to exist necessarily. But like Phantom X just said there, should they funnel us and point us towards others? An interesting question for new player retention. I think it should, in multiple ways, funnel people towards social centers. And in those social centers, there should be some way, like they've already announced, like the bulletin boards and whatnot, to post up, hey, I'm looking for a group, or hey, we're looking for another player. At least in some fashion, to help people find each other outside of just filling chat with looking for group, looking for this, looking for that. That can obviously be done also.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need to do your shopping and whatnot, and sometimes you need to do this and that, and it's going to be a real bummer if you're staring at a shop trying to sell your crafted goods and you completely miss the one random person that chats in a string of people chatting that's the same color because it's the look for group channel.
Yeah.
That happens to be looking for you specifically as the only person online at that time that's playing the exact primary, secondary archetype combo that they want for their party to make the perfect combination.
Well, see, that's what I like about World of Warcraft's ability to search for players online by a class, and then I would like DM them privately.
Yeah, at least being able to do something like if the game systems funnel you to social centers like it kind of does already.
Yeah.
And then you can post on a bulletin board, and then they can whisper you in response to your bulletin board post, and you see a different colored thing pop up because it's a whisper.
Right. Yeah. And like Bandar says, Tavern info player help.
Yeah.
I like that idea a lot. But my other question I have is, I'm going to be doing Vertex Mead Quest this Friday, so would you guys be down for a chill session? I was kind of considering maybe doing something like, I don't know, maybe a Sims, but trying to build a tavern in the Sims and then making like a whole world where it's just people that are within the AshesofCreation community. I thought that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. Vinny. Vinny.
I'm not very good at building though, but I think, still.
There's that one cozy game. It was Amnesia.
You cannot trick me. I will not fall for your tricks, Mr. Throw Socks at me from across the room.
I would never.
I would never. Did. Could build a nice base in Enshrouded if I had Enshrouded. I don't have Enshrouded though.
Oh, and yeah, Chaffee. Yeah, definitely nice mentor system. I really, 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 really hope they build a decent mentor system into Ashes.
I know that they have a mentor system intended, by the way, in case anybody didn't know that was intended. But go ahead. So that was just an aside.
Yeah, I hope they build it in a really good way. Like, it's so satisfying when a game builds a mentor system where you can invite a friend to come in and play with you, right? You convince them that this is the game to end all games. You really should totally, absolutely play this. And they're like, okay, cool. Can I play with you? And you say, yeah, in 3 months when you finish leveling your character. Until then, you're on your own, because I am not starting a new character and spending 3 months leveling it just to level with you. But if they build a mentor system that lets you legitimately go build crafting gear with the help of multiple crafting classes.
Yeah.
Find rare components to make this crafting gear, sell it on the auction house, somebody buys it, and now when they put this training gear on, they can become the level of the person they're mentoring. And jump in and run around with them for a couple hours on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then jump in and level with them for a couple hours on the next week. But in the meantime, that person doesn't have to wait for them. They can just keep going about their day.
Nara kind of mortified me, I guess. Somehow about the animal husbandry. Do you think they should go realistic, like how horse breeding actually is done? They get the horse stallion all hot and bothered, and then grab the thing and put it in a thing to collect all the things. And I was like, no, I'm good. Actually, I kind of hope that they do it kind of like how I've seen it done in this is a callback to anybody who likes farming sims like I do. The original farming sims, like Harvest Moon, where you give an animal an MP, which I always thought stood for magic potion. And then you put the male and the female together, and voila, there's a baby.
Voila.
At some point. But yeah. Oh my gosh. But and that, kids, is how snorses are made.
And that is how snorses are made. Oh my lord.
Oh my gosh. This is getting way too graphic for me. I'm getting embarrassed. I have to say though, it is 50 minutes on this one plus however long the first part was. I know you are traveling, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got work to do tonight still. I had a meeting with some peoples that we're trying to pick up some services from, and that took most of the day. But on the good side of things, they gave me lunch and they gave me dinner, so free food is good food. Yeah.
Hi, Adgrin, a good name for your mount. Yeah, that just doesn't seem sterile. Oh jeez. Oh my gosh. But yes, free food is free food. And we have free virtual food here, so thank you for hanging out here at the tavern. And unfortunately, we can't give you any refunds. There are no refunds here.
Time well spent is time definitely spent.
Let's see, who do we have streaming at all? I don't know who to. I mean, we have a Wicca, but Wicca's playing Warframe. Excuse me.
Yeah, I saw Turgo go live earlier, but he may have just sent a message out as an announcement and not actually went live though.
Yeah. I do know that there's a lot of people playing PAX Day, which I did see you guys talk about PAX Day while we were loading up. Oh man, tacos! I love tacos.
Tacos?
Yeah,
that's to say.
Happy that I've had a couple good tacos from MRE. I would stream and play PAX, but I don't feel like streaming. It's okay, Pockets Art. We love to raid over to somebody. Yeah, I am. Thank you for noticing. We just like raiding over to somebody. And I mean, I am super down to keep chatting Ashes. I don't really have anything else planned for this evening, but I do also need to let our port editor know that we have a 2-part for her today because OBS decided to kill itself. Committed seppuku. I did not
apply. I ain't got time for puzzles.
I did not apply for the PAX Day Alpha because unfortunately there's a lot going on with just getting this podcast together and last night together. So I just don't have time. But thank you guys for joining us. And I am desperately, don't have time for all these alphas. I feel it. I'm desperately trying to find somebody to raid over to.
I think maybe just a Wicca.
All right, Wicca it is.
That's all I can really see is just a Wicca, really.
By the way, we have it can't get into PAX Day. The idea of only having a week to test a game that takes hours to get anywhere seems pointless. I feel that, but also, so the main reason why I didn't apply, and this is a personal take, maybe it's a hot take for, why I'm glad Ashes is the way it is, but when they announced their monetization system, I was very unsatisfied. I did not like the idea of potentially having a token or something, and it just, no thanks. And so that really turned me off from everything PAX Day because I was looking forward to it. It seemed really cool. And then they announced that, and I just kind of, I'm going to be honest, it killed it. It literally killed it for me. And it's unfortunate.
I felt with Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking it all up, and I was like, ooh, sounds really exciting. Looks really cool.
Yeah.
And the game's not even launched, and they have just a bunch of crazy extra things you can buy like day one.
Yeah.
For a single player game.
That's fair, Adgron. Bitcraft has been fun, but takes literal village of people to even pay or plot upkeep. Yeah. Idea of all the monetization is a huge turnoff. Yes, exactly. I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I'm like, I don't want to be like a negative Nancy. I don't want to be the one that's complaining, but like that was just not idealistic for me. It wasn't appealing. So, but with that being said, we're gonna read over to Wicca. Wicca's playing Warframe right now with Coral. And I'm gonna be honest, this is kind of also a very 18+ stream, so just be prepared for anything, literally, raiding over. But yes, we will do a raid rage. Sure, a rage raid. I don't know.
Rage raid? Rage raid. Rage raid.
You guys have a good evening. You guys could have been making your own tavern talk talking about animal husbandry, but you're here instead talking about animal husbandry, I guess. But in the meantime, we'll see you next week. If I don't see you on Friday, next Tuesday, we have the Ezekiel King as our guest, and we'll be chatting about the AshesofCreation live stream.
Please make sure to catch that. Ezekiel's an amazing dude.
Also, I think Vertek and I are going to do something kind of uncharacteristic for both of us for that stream.
Are we?
Didn't you talk about also doing a certain thing? Alright, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and send us over.
We love you. We'll see you next time.
We appreciate you hanging out with us and chatting, and we honestly couldn't do this without you, so...
Nope. You are the reason we exist.
Yes.
Bye.